Welcome to First Level Training, the Firearms Education Center and School of Personal Defense, for another video short. So I've been asked to do a video on how to pick the right gun for beginners. Excellent topic. Before we begin, we need to talk about training. 90% of how to handle a firearm is done in the classroom. You need to start by learning the basics. So, safety first, and then safety again, and again, until it becomes second nature. Learning the rules of safe gun handling is something even the most experienced shooter practices every time they pick up a firearm. That being said, next is muzzle control. Yes, another safety rule. Keeping your gun pointed in the safe direction, always, especially when loading and unloading, is essential. Far too many times, I've seen someone point the firearm at the person next to them trying to hit the mag release button. So they're at the range and they turn the gun sideways to drop the mag. Really bad for the guy next to you if the gun goes off. Learning the proper way to manipulate your gun is paramount in safe gun handling. Now on to the fundamentals. Proper stance, grip, sight alignment, sight picture, trigger control, breath control, and follow through. I know it sounds like a lot to do all at one time, but it's mandatory classroom training before you even think about heading out to the range. But once you've mastered these skills, and I mean know exactly how to handle a malfunction such as a failure to feed, failure to eject, misfires, hang fires, then it's time to find the right gun to start out with. To start out with means it's the first gun you'll be training on. So you don't want a gun with heavy recoil. You want a gun with low recoil, like a .22 caliber. And you want a gun that fits your hand, something you can get a firm grip on. Because when you're at the range, there's a lot of loud noise to distract you and your adrenaline level is through the roof, especially for the first time. Hence, knowing your gun and all the safety handling rules must be second nature. I made the mistake of getting my wife a small .380 subcompact to start out with. And boy, was that a big mistake. She didn't have the strength in her hands to manage the recoil, and she couldn't manipulate the slide to clear malfunctions due to limp wristing because her hands weren't strong enough. It was very frustrating for her. It was all my fault. I should have started her out with a .22 caliber that was full-sized to accommodate recoil and something with an easy slide to chamber it around. So start out with a .22 caliber for light recoil and a slide that doesn't take a lot of strength to manipulate. Second, start out with your targets about 5 to 7 yards. Why? Because if you can't hit your target, you'll soon get frustrated right off the bat, and it won't be a whole lot of fun. Okay? It won't be a good shooting experience. So keep it simple. Accomplish your goals in small steps. Don't try to shoot a target at 25 yards right away. Gain confidence in your fundamentals and mechanics of shooting before trying something more advanced. So a couple of guns that come to mind are the Ruger Mark IV, SR-22, the Browning Buckmark, the Walther P-22, and the Ruger GP-100 for a couple of examples. Okay, this is a Buckmark .22 caliber target pistol. It has a full-size grip. Okay, I can get my big fat hands on it and hold on to the entire gun. It has a long sight radius, so it's easy to target. It's easy to get a sight picture, it's sight alignment. The trigger is really sweet on it. It's very easy to shoot. And the slide, you can use 2 fingers to pull it back. Something excellent to learn on. If slide manipulation and strength in your hands is a problem, consider a revolver. Okay? They make some excellent .22 revolvers. This way you don't have to worry about manipulating the slide. A single action revolver may be the way to go because the trigger is so light and it's easy to load and unload. Of course, it takes more time than having a magazine ready to slap up into the grip, but we're talking about fundamentals here. We're not talking about speed firing, multiple targets, or anything like that. So a revolver may be the way to go, again, to start off with, keeping it simple. Once you've established a good sense of how the gun functions, and only then should you attempt to move up into a larger caliber, like a 9mm, 38, or even 45 caliber. Smaller frame guns will be a challenge to shoot due to the short sight radius and snappy recoil. So that would be something to try when the shooter is more skilled and comfortable with shooting. The more diverse the shooter is with handling different types of firearms, the more likely they'll be able to move from a light caliber and light recoil gun to something with a little bit more oomph, which is also a challenge and fun once you get through the initial blast. So don't jump right away into that gun that your grandfather used in the war. Start low and slow. Too many people make the mistake of choosing a cool gun to start off with, only to be disappointed by the results. And some never go back to shooting again because of that. Think of it this way. Would you start out a new driver in an Indy car? No. Why? Because the skill level isn't there. And the chance of a crash is inevitable. So don't go to the range and crash. Take it one step at a time and work up to the gun you always wanted. It takes time, concentration, skill, and a willingness to achieve your goals one step at a time. Be willing to put in the time and effort to become a proficient marksman by having the skills, knowledge, and attitude to accomplish what you set out to do, which is have fun. Again, picking out the right gun for a beginner is something that really needs to be taken with care. Otherwise, you may blow their chances of ever going to the range again. From First Level Training, the Firearms Education Center, and School of Personal Defense, I hope you found this video short, entertaining, and informational and educational. Remember, be smart, be educated, and be safe. Thanks for watching.